We have two competing industries within our industry. We have the heart and the head, right? Every industry has it. Where's the heart of the industry and where's the head of the industry? And we have two competing industries that funnel those. We have the legacy market. We have kind of the bro dude West Coast guys that look like me. You know what I mean? Upturned hat and sleeve tattoos and bong rips and I'm not afraid to go talk to a cartel member about our recent bud shipment. And then you have the other side of it. You have kind of the buttoned up boat shoes, suit and tie kind of guy that I call them Chads, but that's not necessarily the most, it's a little derogatory, I guess, but we kind of have these two things. And those two groups, to me, both have a home in cannabis. I think both of them can and are good for cannabis. I think a lot of what the Chad side of the equation is doing is bad for it, but I don't think in and of itself it is inherently bad. So what we end up having is like the heart should be coming from the legacy market. You know what I mean? It should be driving this love for the plant, this sacred understanding, this whole, whatever, Bob Marley said it best, the herb is the healing of the nations, right? And on the other side of that, we should have these corporate guys creating the brain of it. How can we help the legacy market take their brand and bring it to the masses? But what we actually have is kind of the opposite. We've given the heartstrings to the guys who know exactly what they're doing in business, and they choose to make it all about margins and regulatory capture and not about actual product quality or any of these other things. The other side of that, we have the legacy guys who are now crushing it and growing by leaps and bounds, but that whole other side of the equation is one step ahead of them with regulations and requirements and kind of stamping them down at every turn. And to me, the only answer, I'll preach this to the heavens forever, the only possible answer is if we can somehow ensure that home grow makes it into every next move we make, whether it's state level legalization or eventual federal legalization. Without home grow, we are doomed to failure as an industry. And not just doomed from the patient perspective. I think it would be really easy for people to assume I'm just this patient advocate working on behalf of those. But no, I'm looking out for the investors too. You know what I mean? Like there's been this kind of ongoing idea for the last year until the last month or so that capital dried up in cannabis. It didn't. Capital sat back and watched that you burned the first couple $1 billion pumped in the industry on buying jets and massive CEO pay things and blowing it on crazy stuff like LPP. And then you end up with this, you know what I mean? So I think it's both. Not only are we burning patients right now as an industry, we're burning the investors who are trying to just make money. So even the predatory class, even the venture capital of the world is getting burned. And it's both sides of the equation. And I think that to me is the biggest problem. I could accept if we were moving into a very regulated world. Look at Pabst Blue Ribbon and their recent release of THC seltzer. Hell yeah. If PBR was the only cannabis brand in my area and they were kicking ass using what they do to make quality products, sure. But we're not getting that. Both sides of this equation are getting burned every single time. And to me, that's the biggest travesty. Neither side is happy. Not the Wall Street side and not the patient side.